SBENU, SonicBoom, and KT Rolster, and that Lux ban will stick around.
So will Elise Sin ban. KT dropping that on the red side this time around. We have the same bans so far.
Yeah, same bans for SBENU coming in at the moment. KT with a chance to switch things up here now. We'll see.
I think they'll still ban the MF. Unless they really want SBENU to first pick. And remember, we are still on 524. So that does mean that there aren't any MF nerfs on this patch, and we've seen it first picked on blue side quite a bit.
Yeah. So the final ban comes in for KT Rolster, and it is,
well, you think it would be MF, but maybe they want to get rid of the Tom Kench or the Lysandra this time around. Soar actually did have quite a good game on Lysandra.
Thresh.
They're going to get rid of the Thresh, interestingly enough.
So they're going to make SBENU kind of pick from all these power picks, and then KT's just going to get 2 of them themselves.
Yeah, the MF is going to go first, but I suppose this means that KT wants to take an Alistar or a Trundle. They want to get rid of the Elise for Flawless, even though Flawless didn't have the greatest Elise game in number 1.
Oh, baby. Yeah, let's do it. Score.
They're not going to take Elise and Graves. They'll go take Fiora and Graves, though.
Yeah.
Could be a likely combination.
Well, like we said before, I mean, it's only a matter of time until we see the Graves jungle here in Korea. Might not be this game, as looks like they are possibly interested in grabbing that Elise. Going to take the Lucian and the Elise.
So they banned out the MF. Now, this is going to be KT's 3rd game of Lucian out of 4, so this has been certainly a very high priority for them, and Arrow did get an MVP for a Lucian performance. He looked very good.
Yeah. Now, if you think about the amount of burst that Graves' Misfortune can provide during a team fight, that's something worth considering, but Nidalee, not a bad choice either.
I am surprised they didn't go for the Kindred here. Kindred's still up, and Score didn't have the opportunity to take the Elise in the last game. It was picked in the first round of the draft by SBENU on the red side, and he countered with that Kindred pick. Now we may see the Nidalee come in. Nidalee's still quite a strong jungler and a nice duelist, and Flawless can provide a lot of support on that particular champion. Lysandra will be once again presumably the pickup for the top lane.
But we will see a Nidalee. Should be fun.
Yeah, a lot of gank pressure. I mean, Nidalee, Lysandra, you land your W, and then Nidalee Spear becomes very easy to land. Huge amounts of burst.
Yep.
So a good lane to gank for.
Now, in our sheet of information that we are given before every cast, today it did say that Fly was enjoying playing mid-Rammus lately. But I don't know if we're ever actually going to see that get picked. But
all right, so Braum
interesting to know.
Going to be the answer to the MF and the Nidalee, using that Unbreakable to set it up. We've seen Hachani use the Braum into the MF successfully earlier this week, and Fly once again just going for the victor. We've got a lot of wave clear right now, and they're saving their counter pick for Sunday. This is usually how they played red side last year. They would almost always save counter picks for Sunday.
I would love to see this Amumu get locked in. I don't think we will, but I feel like in a meta where Misfortune is back, it's only a matter of time until the Amumu shows up again.
No, he's just going to die in the jungle and be useless.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Kindred's going to walk in and kill him.
Oh, well, no, because it's Elise this time. Alawi is available, of course, but we haven't seen any Alawi picks just yet.
Mid Alawi, come on, Sassen. You are the man to make this happen.
Secret's a great Alistar player. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him take that. Yeah, there we go.
And with a Jace in the mid lane, so Coco not the only one playing it. They see the Victor and think they can get away with farming up a Jace.
I think Jace is good right now.
But still the Braum is there, providing just a lot of blocking power for the composition that SBENU has put together. Great initiation, very good poke and long-range damage, and will it be a Gnar here?
Maybe.
I mean, just go for the big front line.
The tough matchup didn't really hurt too much for Score, or for Someday rather, last game in the Fiora into Lysandra lane.
They also have literally nobody who can deal with a split-pushing Fiora in the late game, because they're going to be running one TP here, and that's not going to be enough. Well, they could run TP mid lane with Jace, but Jace also not going to be in a position to stop a Fiora, and it's going to be Fiora once again They keep giving it to Someday, and it keeps working.
I don't think that's a great idea. I'm just going to put that out there right now. If I was SBENU, I don't think I'd give Someday Fiora.
Well, they did manage to make him go 1-5-1 in the early game, keep him down a little bit, but his teleports were very good. He did eventually get that pressure, and his cleanup in some of those late game team fights, he can get some triple kills, double kills.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's just one of those champions for Someday, and for a lot of other top laners, where even if you fall behind early, you can just have that one team fight, get a kill or two, and you're right back in it again.
Yeah, and it's fun to see Someday play this way. I love watching KT when they use Someday for his dueling capabilities and his 1v1 strength, and they've just been doing that every single game in this very young season, but they have yet to lose with it, so you can't really argue.
Well, it's kind of KT's style, though, right? Do something until somebody shows you that it won't work anymore, They've never been the team to really throw in a lot of strategic variation if they didn't have to, right?
Well, why would they?
Exactly.
They will have a little bit of a tough time this game, though. Lots of nice zoning, but they should have enough wave clear to withstand the poke and siege composition that SBENU's going to be throwing at them. SBENU may have to do some very interesting dives to make plays in this game.
Well, we'll see if SBENU has what it takes to tie up the series. Time to get into game 2, guys. Let's do it. And welcome once again to Summoner's Rift for the second game between SBENU and KT Rolster, as we fly over Sasson all the way to the other side of the map as KT moves out.
Korea's not cool enough to get base banners yet?
Not yet, I guess. I think they're cool enough.
Those are reserved for LCS teams only.
Apparently. I don't know. Maybe if they win Worlds a 4th time in a row, they'll get it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to take.
Maybe. High standards. I just want my own personal base banner.
Would it have your face on it?
Yep, you bet. Pretty much be the whole banner.
Wow, that's not annoying.
What the heck was that? Lissandra, why? Just you thought it couldn't get any worse. Jeez.
Apparently she can buzz in the jungle.
So.
And there is a rubber duck on top of a duck.
You said it, Lissandra.
I think that was in Italy that time.
Whatever. Well, Nuclear on that misfortune. And I mean, we have seen what damage Jace's shock blasts plus a bullet time combo can do. And if you've got Lissandra locking people up, SBENU can theoretically put that together into a pretty big team fight win, but we'll see.
And they do have nice gank threat in the side lanes. Not so much the mid, obviously, with Jace probably going to be getting a tier and just looking to farm that item up. Hello.
Whoa! Flash used already by Nuclear. What in the world? I guess
Arrow
both
hit
summoners.
Arrow hit 2 first, so that was the issue right there.
Yeah, I mean, Hachani burned both of his summoners there too, so.
Yeah, Arrow and he took the Gromp, and so Arrow managed to hit that fast level 2. And they tried for an all-in. They used more than they succeeded in taking away, so 2 summoners to 3 in favor of SBENU now in that bottom lane. But they did get the 80 carry flash, which is nice, and they're going to check out some deep wards. Meanwhile, Braum is going on a red warding mission right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, actually, if you notice, KT didn't really use very many of their trinket wards at level 1. So now they have a bunch of them to use right now.
Well, going to be a gank up in the top lane too as Score comes in. There's a slow from Someday. Flash Cocoon. Soar trying to get out. There's a Cocoon now. First blood goes to Score.
Really good patience on the Cocoon. Waiting for the flash to come out of Soar and just using the red buff slow beforehand. Score has really evolved into a very good jungler. Surprisingly, if you had to take an 80 carry and turn him into a jungler, and you gave me a choice of all Korean 80 carries, I would have picked Score just because of the way that he plays the game, and we know that he's always been one of the big shot callers back from the KT Bullets days, but he really is doing very well in terms of his pathing, obviously intelligent, and even in those little exchanges, correctly calculating the way to use his abilities to maximize his kill potential.
Return gank coming in. Soar dueling a bit with Someday, but Someday is just going to duck down in the mid lane and avoid Flawless as much as he can. Looks like he'll be able to sneak back into Tribrush. Has to burn his flash, though. At least they got that. It's something.
Definitely very important, because the return ganks of a flash Fiora against a no-flash Lissandra could have been brutal.
Yeah.
But we do have the opposite side of the map.
Speaking of no flash, Nuclear doesn't have it, gets stunned a little bit, in a lot of trouble. Score comes in, picks himself up another kill. What a day for Score so far. And man, if KT can just take this and run with it, they are going to be a fearsome team in 2016.
Yeah, actually looked like he's coming in, barely finishing up that kill by himself. Couldn't necessarily guarantee it to Arrow, but he's playing around the pressure so well. He got an advantage for his top laner in a losing matchup, able to get that fast gank off, immediately goes to the bottom side and sets up on a Misfortune whose flash was blown from a level 2 all-in. So this is going quite well. Flawless will have to content himself for the moment with a little bit of counter jungling, and he's not the healthiest right now, so he has to back off. Meanwhile, Someday actually out-farming this Lissandra early.
That's a bit surprising. I guess the early kill certainly helps. A little bit different situation than we had in game 1.
Score's waiting to see if they were actually going to face check that brush to put a ward in it, but they're not going to, and instead Hachani and Score will go on a deep warding mission together and take away some Raptors. Flawless, very sad.
Yep, doesn't even get that little one, I don't think. Oh, Someday going after Soar, doing a lot of damage. Uh-oh.
Johnny's still here while the recall came through from Arrow, and Someday with a level edge right now and really making the most of it. You can see he also had the chance to go back and pick up parts of a Phage. Meanwhile, Soar still sitting on just a Doran's ring. And that item advantage and the single level advantage that he was able to grab mean that he's going to be getting the better of a lot of these trades, and Soar running out of options, no TP left to return.
Not the greatest situation for SBENU just yet, but at least he's got some range. I mean, the CS is kind of equalized, but Flawless wants to come up and see if he can help his top laner pick up a kill.
Gonna try and get a spear in here, but Score is here.
All right, spear comes through, does connect. So Soar right into the cocoon. What a counter by Score. Score with another kill.
Score is having a massive day. That was
insane.
What patience coming in for that. He baited it out, read Flawless, and he's just been reading Flawless this entire series so far correctly. You can see Score's face right there. Smile.
I think Flawless is going to have to give his ID over to Score after this game.
But the synergy between Someday and Score this game too, drawing them back in after he sees this Nidalee come over the wall and start to attempt a pincher attack, and just letting Soar roll in on the E, catching him in the cocoon and turning the gank right on its head.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on the Nuclear. Hachani tries to land the Q. Not quite able to do it, but Arrow and Hachani certainly with the edge down in the bot lane, and it's looking pretty one-sided across the board for KT Rolster in game 2.
Yeah, Score has really given Someday a leg up right now. He's just collecting all the swords and rubies he can.
Why not? Ruby Crystal. It's not finely cut though, it's kind of raw.
Just a lump.
Ruby lump. Yeah, they should rename the item too. By a ruby lump.
Someday now still up one level, now up by about 12 CS2. And this Fiora is going to get going really soon.
It's not going to get much better for Soar going forward.
Well, they've got a lot of scaling to do here too. SBENU, this is a pretty disastrous situation because Sasa needs to stack that tier. Soar needs to get a Rod of Ages, and they are in the hole in a major way against a composition that is simply going to outscale them.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're Sora, you're behind on a champion that's going to fall off anyway, so you may never actually have that advantage that you hope to at least have for the first half of the game.
Yeah, Sora, he needs to perhaps make a play on a different lane, see if he can affect the map in some other way.
be. Saucin kind of going the direct opposite of the direction he went last game with that aggressive Quinn, playing a very safe, just stack the tier Jace.
Yeah, the nice thing though is they do have kill pressure because he can jump into hammer form while Nidalee follows up on a spear.
True.
With a pounce, so there's a lot of actual burst melee damage there that they can use to create a pick. Saucin just hammering the cannon minion right back into his turret before finishing it off. Fancy CSing moves, courtesy of Jace.
Wow, I'm so impressed.
I knew you would be. You delight in minion carnage.
I'm so excited. I will make it my desktop background.
All right, I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Wow. What a guy. Because usually it's like, well, you can go on the VOD and find it yourself. But if you're going to send it to me, okay, sure. Sounds good. Someday back under turret. Do you think this is something Soar and Flawless can maybe try to dive?
I would not recommend that at this point in time. I mean, someday out of potion charges, but they are just going to go ahead and make a move for the first dragon here. It's sub 10 minutes. Secret going to get a ward over, but it's not really going to do much with Flawless on that side, so they are going to try and get the Rift Herald in response.
I might as well get something out of it, I suppose, because it looks like nothing's stopping KT from getting that dragon.
But you don't really want this on the Jace because the Victor has such good wave clear anyway.
Are they going to give it to Flawless?
No, you don't want that either.
I don't know. I don't know why you would give that to a jungler who probably isn't going to ever be in lane to use it.
Maybe he can come up into the top lane now alongside Soar, use Soar's wave clear and start just autoing the turret.
Maybe, but he's not.
Well, we'll see what he does. He's going back right now. They could be looking for a recall here to attempt something like that, but they need to get some sort of turret pressure down.
Yep. Now, Saucin, via the poking, has kept a little bit of a CS lead over Fly, but not really anything too remarkable. Needs a bit more than that.
So it looks like just more jungling after the Rift Herald is killed.
I guess so.
That buff not going to be of much use to SBENU in the end.
I really don't get giving that to the jungler.
Well, if you give it to Jace, though, and you're not ready to push, which is true of where Jace is in his build right now,
I suppose.
You are just going to expose Jace to ganks in the mid lane because he is just going to have to push forward very aggressively. It is at the very least, a denial of KT taking it out of the top side of the map, so they do get something. It's just not ideal, but at least they got something in exchange for the dragon once they saw it going down.
True enough.
Quickly clearing out a ward, pink ward in that brush, and that'll cause Score just to back off before Hachani comes in. Once again, roaming around this top side. They'd love to be able to take out some of these pink wards and make Lissandra feel a little bit more vulnerable.
Well, they're definitely doing that. Saucin taking a hit from the Death Ray. And Hachani and Score going into the enemy jungle. Looks like with that blue ward there, they're going to back off for the moment anyway. I think Sora's going to have to go on the run here. Fly, force use that flash.
Flawless temporarily buffing up these minions in lane. Hachani is here though, gets a nice few passive stacks up onto Flawless.
And no stun though, it was one short. Oh, Arrow gonna duel with Nuclear here maybe. Nope, just gonna hit him a little bit. Oh, come on. I got so excited, Arrow. Nothing is stopping you from dueling, so just do it. Just do it, man.
Except for that giant minion wave, which would assure that he loses.
Whatever. Not interesting. Doesn't matter. And the Klingon C thing from Nidalee is on the blue buff.
She turns everybody into Klingons.
I guess. I mean, just puts the whatever the Klingon faction is called. She puts her little logo on it, you know?
I do know.
Yeah, I know you know.
Kapla.
Kapla. Big Trekkie. Whoop, someday. Going after Score. Sandra's trying to slide away as fast as she can.
It's pretty fast, as it turns out.
It is, yeah.
Sliding on ice is fast.
Does that. Oh, Flash Cocoon. Saucin flashes in response to get out of it. Flash Cocoon. That's got to be a band name of some kind.
Doesn't sound very exciting. Sounds like you mostly just incubate for a while.
I know, right? It's more like you're trying to turn to a butterfly and people keep taking pictures of your cocoon and you have these like annoying flashes of light. You're like, come on, trying to become a beautiful butterfly.
But you're really just a moth.
Oh no, the awful truth comes out. It's okay because then Gandalf needs you to call eagles to him, so it all works out in the end, you know? He'll like catch you very gently and whistle to you.
Gandalf the Moth Whistler.
You know, if Gandalf was a great wizard, he'd just make that moth big, and then he'd fly away on that. That'd be way cooler. Whoa, meanwhile, Nuclear totally caught under the turret. Easy kill for KT. Soar goes down too. Wow. Surgical strikes in front of that. Oh, hello. Secret getting a bit bloodthirsty. Manages to find Braum, and that's 2 of them now for SBENU. Just like the Dwarves of Moria, they delved too greedily and too deep.
They did, and they tried
Once
to make
again.
plays on both sides of the map. It was nice jump there from Sassen over the cocoon.
Wait for it, and thunk. Oh, what? Oh, there we go. All right. Uh-oh. Fly, even with the exhaust, might be able to get this one. Maybe not. Chaos Storm chasing Sassen away. Teleport coming in from Someday, and that's going to break up that fight.
Whoops. So a few mistakes there, capitalized on by SBENU. They saw the deep dive, and Hachani had almost died already just from the turret damage, but he did do a good job of blocking the actual bullet time as it came in. They had a lot of wards, but Flawless tricked them a little bit and came around the top side of the red buff. So they weren't exactly aware of his presence, even though they probably had sufficient vision to try and make that move.
It was cool, though. Oh, secret. Found out. It's not a secret anymore.
Things rarely are when you're playing Alistar.
Yeah, pretty much. But they are more than they used to be with the new vision system. It's hard to be a hidden Minotaur.
Hidden Minotaur. Now there's a good band name for you.
Hidden Minotaur? Yeah, that works. That's good. That sounds like one of those LARPing like metal bands, you know?
I didn't know there were LARPing metal bands.
I'm sure there are. Well, like metal bands, they like to dress up anyway, you know? So why not dress up like fantasy characters? Ouch. Wow, he nearly got that blue buff. Nice try from Sassen. Hidden Minotaur. Someday getting poked a little bit by Soar.
Yeah, without the help up top from Score, it has reverted back into how this matchup goes, but he does have a very late Rod of Ages, had to get a second Doran's Ring early in this game, so.
Yeah, oh, there we go. Matchup of Pulverize, that's a big bullet time. Arrow takes some big chunks of damage. Teleport coming down though, Fly. Hanging out, getting there from the bot lane, nearly kills Flawless. Secret on the run there, he's 3v1. And that's some roast beef as Arrow takes him down. Meanwhile, the turret gets destroyed up in top lane by SBENU, and Sassen may have an opportunity to poke away at the mid lane a bit too.
Yeah, Someday here just to clean up the mid turret. They're going to sacrifice top for yet another dragon stack, so 2 very early on in this, and that'll be easily secured. So they turn around another kill. Fly actually gets his TP into the bottom side, double TP of course. For this composition, Fly deciding that this Jace, not too much of a threat. And a bit of a surprise, Sassen did take the exhaust this game instead, presumably to deal with Fiora in the late game coming in.
I think that makes a lot of sense if you
are
worried about that.
It does, but at the same time, it does limit your options when it comes to counterplay, or if you start to get bullied in lane, coming back very quickly like we saw Coco's Jace do yesterday, or 2 days ago. Yesterday. I know when that happened.
You've been casting a lot of games lately, man. I can understand that. At some point, they all just start blurring together, don't they?
They do. They do. Except for the EM Fire games. Those get deleted.
Yeah, those just get erased from the memory banks.
It's not actually true. EM Fire did a lot better yesterday than I thought they would.
We've all forgotten the Team Dark games. So.
No, we haven't. They had very memorable games. They got kicked out of Champions. How can you forget that?
The only actual game I remember, though, is the Cloud Templar trolling tribute game. I don't remember any of their other actual games, besides the fact that they occurred. But yeah, they're the only team that got kicked out of Champions. That was a couple years ago already, wasn't it? Wow. R.I.P. Team Dark.
Make it into Champions, Apto gets banned, then they troll their way to a competitive ban.
That's right. That was Apto's team, too.
But he never got to play a champion, sadly. We'll never know what could have been.
No, probably not. Oh, Secret on the run. Well, he's trying to run, but he keeps getting CC'd. Wow, that is a tough cow with that ultimate, but I don't think he's going to live either way. Nope, goodbye.
Score again, taking a kill.
5-1-1. Nearly all the kills, all of them but 2.
All of them but 1.
All of them but 2.
Okay,
Well, Arrow has 2 kills.
Oh, I thought you meant the kill contribution.
No, I was talking about killing blows.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did do the all-in at the bottom side, so.
Yes.
That's why he has been robbed of his series 100% kill contribution.
Yes.
Saucin now with the Herald, and this is a much better timing for that.
See, I think we just learned a lot about each other there. Is that we naturally gravitated towards kill contribution. I just naturally gravitated towards who got the killing blows. I think that says a lot about how we look at League of Legends, doesn't it?
It does.
Priorities.
Teamwork. Teamwork. No.
Glory. Yep. And SBENU is still getting that turret low.
Yeah, Fly backing off doesn't have a lot of mana, so now they're going to flip Arrow over into that mid lane.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Culling used, of course, very early on, and they're not going to get it on this wave, but they should have sufficient Herald energy left. What do you think the Rift, so he's the Rift Herald, but he's actually the Baron Herald, because if he's heralding anything, it's the spawn of the Baron.
Well, if you herald something, it's letting other people know that something or someone is coming.
Right,
right?
Exactly.
So he's like, the Rift is, wait, we're already on the Rift. What am I doing with my life?
He's the Baron Herald.
Baron Herald, yeah. He's not the Rift Herald. I mean, he lives in the Rift, but if he heralds anything, he heralds the Baron.
I mean, we know that Riot has a tenuous grasp of the English language and definitions of things.
It's true.
So I guess I'm not surprised, but I continue to be disappointed, Noah.
Can you be disappointed at this point if it's just like what you expect anyway, you know?
Yes, I can.
Need that gif of the dude from Arrested Development where he's like, I don't know what I expected. That's about it. Baron Herald. But see, Baron Herald doesn't sound as nice, you know? Oh, score. Repelling away. And slowed down by Misfortune, but he's got Fly there. A little bit of damage thrown in by the ultimate Victor. Meanwhile, Saucin caught a bit. Arrow low health. He's got to be careful. Flashes out of that headbutt pulverize combo from Secret. Turns right around with the culling. Secret CC'd, but be okay. And somehow, some way, nobody dies in that exchange.
Yeah, Soar doesn't really have a lot of good wards to TP to right there, in spite of the fact that he might have been able to clean it up if he had more options. But you can see the poke, the Nidalee Jace poke, starting to get very powerful. 2 Rod of Ages built by SBENU now, looking to stack them up to full, but they've got a long way to go. They're really not going to hit full power until about 30 minutes into this game.
Yeah.
Soar with a slight advantage, already 5 minutes into his, but that's a late Rod even for a top lane Lissandra, and this Rod coming through from Flawless is very late indeed.
Yeah, and this is really when they need to be the most powerful too, you know?
Well, they're getting there. We don't have a Muramana yet, but the poke is going to be very strong, but how much is that going to matter if these dragons keep coming in? 30 seconds until number 3.
Well, someday is going to get a chance to take out this top turret, so that split push has begun, and SBENU seems thoroughly unprepared to face it.
Well, we talked about that starting this game. They do not have a tool to deal with the split push. They don't have another teleport. Their teleport champion is Lissandra. That is not going to be anywhere near enough to stop this Fiora post 30 minutes with a 30 CS advantage in the start that Someday has had in this game.
Yeah.
Already completing 2 core items. Titanic Hydra and the Black Cleaver, so he is well prepared to deal with Lissandra if he has to.
Yep. Seems to be doing just fine.
Here's another dragon, dragon up, quick clear of the wards.
This will be their 3rd one already, unless Flawless can get a miracle steal here. They may try to push on mid lane though.
35 minutes to set up now for
Miracle
the
steal.
5th dragon.
Miracle steal, there goes the, nope. Just gonna let the dragon go home. Nice dodge, dragon. Might be able to get this mid lane turret though. Whoa, that's a lot of damage from that shock blast now. With the minion wave pushing back though, SBENU still can't take that turret.
Yeah, they have Victor moving too. There's no Herald buff or anything like that to help out with the tankiness of the wave.
Yep.
Chani is there to block any MF ults that might be popped to zone them away. That's why this Braum pick has been so good against MF pickers.
MF pickers. That sounds like a League of Legends Bluegrass tribute band. There you go.
Has to be a Bluegrass tribute band. Can't just be a Bluegrass band.
Well, it's a tribute to League of Legends in the Bluegrass style. That's what I meant. You know, I thought of a name that we could replace the Rift Herald with.
What?
We just call him the Rift Squatter, because he kind of just lives in somebody else's house until that person comes home and kicks him out. So I think Rift Squatter fits him. And
everybody's trying to evict him throughout the game?
Exactly. People just want to get rid of him. They're like, oh, that guy, he's living in Mr. Barron's house. Does Mr. Barron know about this? I know he's like in Florida for the winter.
Yeah, he's away on vacation.
That's right. He's got important places to be. He's on a business trip. He's got a big company to run. Just comes home every once in a while.
Before he's unceremoniously murdered.
Jeez. It's a rough life, man.
Through the home invasion of
the
teams of champions on Summoner's Rift.
It's not fair. It's just not fair. And then the indignity of having the Rift Squatter living in your pit.
I love it.
Yep. It's Rift Squatter. I think that name fits perfectly. Nice shock blast from Sassen. Uh-oh. Oh, spooky ghost.
Blocked by riposte.
Yeah.
The ghost riposte.
Ghost riposte. He's got the most ghost riposte that I've ever seen. He doesn't want to boast.
Certainly not.
But that was a nice riposte.
All right.
Finally. Goodbye, mid-turret. Second one of the game now for SBENU. They got the bottom one a bit. No, they got the top one a bit earlier.
They've been grouping for that one for quite some time, and finally they found an opening. Fly actually going for a Rylai's this game, so a bit lower on the damage end, but needs some of that tankiness to stay relevant should he get hit by that thing, the shock blast flying in from off the screen.
Yeah. And can they stop this one? Looks like they can for now. KT though, I mean, that's the thing about KT's style is once again they can just wait it out, you know?
Yep, just get 5 dragons.
Yep. Oh, just get score another kill almost, but then give it to Fly at the last second.
Sometimes you don't want to press that Q.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Sometimes you want to spread the kills around a little bit. You know?
Don't want to hit the mark. Want to go in. Yep. Well, no, sometimes you really don't want to pounce right after that.
I mean, he's already got 5 kills. Score's already got 5, so time to share. Arrow can pretty much do whatever he wants now.
So can someday. And it's someday KT trusts.
Yep.
Just putting all of their eggs in his basket, game after game, letting him methodically take apart the enemy, turret by turret.
Well, it's become obvious that someday can carry a lot in that basket.
He's got a big basket.
He does.
And a strong back.
Yep. Carried hard this year. Really nice run for KT. Overall. Finals appearance. Got pretty deep in Worlds.
Only got eliminated by a Korean team.
Yep. Sounds nice.
Played in probably my favorite game of the World Championship against Origin, where they lost. That was a great game.
That was a great game. Origin had a good Worlds too.
Until you hit SKT, everybody has a good Worlds.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. You can only do so much before you hit the boss. Whoa, secret coming in, bullet time used, but doesn't really do a whole lot. Hit Chanyu, blocked most of it. KT just casually walks away before coming right back in again. Soar ults himself. Does that give them time to respond. Soar's still in trouble, slowed down by that chilling smite before being killed by Arrow. And someday, somehow, lives through that again.
Pointing his rapier to the sky. Yeah,
That's
nice
right.
follow-up from Arrow right there, using his flash and heal to make it through and finish off the kill onto Score, or Soar rather.
I know,
Soar
it's
and
confusing,
Score.
isn't it? Soar, Score.
Too much name overlap.
Soar, Score, and 7 games ago. Our forefather, Makanoon, pushed down the top lane with Rengar. Oh, hello. Someday. Caught, or has he caught you? Saucin in big trouble, taken out. The challenge has been completed and Flawless has to flash over the wall. Fly chasing, easy kill there between the Death Ray and that Q, and KT says, hey, we just punched our ticket to an easy Baron. Now that the Rift Squatter's out of the way anyway.
Yeah, they tried to make a play while Soar was still dead and Someday had not been killed, so making that is risky. Of course, Fly with the teleport up to, able just to home guard his way back into that fight. So an unwise call from SBENU in a man-down situation means that KT will be Baron empowered and 7,000 gold in the lead at the end of the day.
Yep. At this point, you don't really expect there to be much you can do. Let's watch that fight one more time.
Yeah, this is just, Saucin is way too squishy to be going to hammer stance like that to try and finish off a kill. Someday gets the healing, and here comes Fly. Cute power transfers enough to finish off the French maid.
Life transfer.
And now, here's Dragon number 4, just for safety's sake. That'll put him on the cusp and give them the biggest chance of winning for the rest of the game.
Yep. Well, I think when they get that 5th Dragon stack in like 7 minutes, that's going to probably give them the best chance to win the game.
Yes, but you
You
might
know
as well
we're going
just
there.
put yourself right on the cusp for as long as this game is going to go on. That is the right call. You're not really wasting too much of that Baron time.
Yep.
And now, very annoyingly, there's a cannon minion slowly blasting away at this mid lane tier 2.
He's gone. Oh, KT's right there, though.
I don't know why somebody's in the jungle right now instead of pushing top.
Chasing away Soar, who is also in the jungle, of course.
Someday, I guess, is going to decide that he finally wants to go into that top side. Didn't have teleport, so maybe he was a bit nervous as long as he couldn't see where Soar was, but
See,
keep putting on the pressure.
the goal now, I mean, right now, Someday is 006, which makes him the bad guy from GoldenEye. But if he becomes 007, then he becomes James Bond. So he just wants that one more assist.
What if he becomes
be really cool.
106?
I don't know. I don't think that's a secret agent. Then the whole analogy falls apart. But for now, it's working, you know?
It's all right. Sean Bean is cooler than Pierce Brosnan anyway, so.
It's true, but Sean Bean always dies. Well, nearly always dies. So you don't want to be him.
I don't know. I think I'd rather be a dead Sean Bean than an alive Pierce Brosnan.
That's grim. I don't know. Depends on the impact you make in your film, right?
Although, I don't know. Pierce Brosnan was pretty great in the Thomas Crown Affair, so.
He was pretty great in GoldenEye, too.
Yeah, but Sean Bean gets to be Trevelyan. Oh,
Uh-oh. Oh, Someday gets ulted. Saucin looking for a kill, and there he goes. Oh, Someday, you've died. But you've gotten your team an inhibitor turret, so it worked out in the end.
so he
Someday got
was
his own,
Sean
too.
Bean. He was
He was.
006 and then he died.
Yeah, that's true. See? Just fulfilling his destiny.
I'm glad it worked out like that.
I'm glad so, too.
I'm glad so too.
I don't know. Sometimes I just say words. You gotta.
He didn't have his flashy. Well, it was a pretty. Actually, I take that back. It was a pretty flashy death, getting entombed in ice.
Well,
he didn't
yeah.
like fall into a radio telescope or anything.
That really sounds like a James Bond villain way to die, being entombed in ice, right? Yeah. Falling off a big telescope was not that cool of a way to go in GoldenEye.
I disagree. I think falling into a giant radio telescope is pretty cool.
Well, I don't know. I think it would have been cooler if he fell and then like slid along the bottom and was okay at the end. Flawless!
Oh, got the rappel onto him.
Yeah, but Flawless able to recall in time. The rest of SBENU has to run, though.
Somebody back up. He TP'd into the mid lane to keep this push up. No more Baron buff, but they're going to get some free time with this turret.
Not a lot. A little bit.
And they have a huge wave in the bottom side to go with Arrow.
Wow.
Takes a big chunk from some poke from Flawless right there.
Yep.
Has to move over and try and get a tiny amount of lifesteal, but that's the issue right now, is that there's not a lot of lifesteal in many of these AD carry builds, so he can't really sustain himself. He just has to go back. And that's one of the reasons why poke is so strong these days, is because if you hit the AD carry, basically you can end any siege that is occurring.
It's interesting. Very different from how it used to be, where you could just dodge into the jungle and kill a couple of minions and be back to full health.
Arguably, too, he should have, if he's building into Mercurial Scimitar next, he should have perhaps gone for the Vamp Scepter instead of the pickaxe. So maybe a bit of an itemization problem there, too, from Arrow.
You can see that.
Especially against a poke composition.
You know what, Monty? KT doesn't care, because the Dragon's up in a minute 40, and they're just going to get that anyway. Oh, Saucin push up pretty far again, but it'll be okay. SBENU looks like they're kind of making a bit of a last-ditch effort here.
I also appreciate how KT tried to take down that mid turret when they have 2 exposed inhibitors.
Well, why not, you know?
Why make it easy on yourself?
Gotta be bold. Oh, speaking of bold, Someday coming in. There's Score flanking from the side. Flash Cocoon on the Saucin.
Oh.
Really nice culling. That's a lot of damage. Flawless having to flash out of the way to get out of that one. Secret in a bit of trouble. Soar on the run. Actually, Nuclear hasn't taken too much damage yet. They're going to lose Secret, but maybe they could get something done with bullet time. I don't know, though. It's got to do it now. Yeah, right in the choke. KT takes a big bullet time, but Someday is just destroying people on the outside of the fight, and in the end, an easy team fight win for KT.
That is an ace only for the price of Arrow's death as they hunt everyone down. Score, for some reason, has a GA in this game. He's just too damn rich. Already 6 items.
Yeah, I guess
6,
so.
1, and 7 on this Elise. And that's going to be a surrender at the end for SBENU SonicBoom.
Wow, and a frustrating loss there. And KT takes their second 2-0 of Champion Spring. Really strong start for this roster.
Fly looks really bored. Score looks really happy, though. He's like, did you see those great games I had, guys? I got a GA on Elise.
Score's the best, man. I mean, he had a fantastic day. Absolutely the Game 2 MVP in my book.
Well, certainly the Game 1, and I would tend to agree with you on the Game 2 part as well. Certainly helping out Someday quite a bit early in the laning phase of that one to propel him to new heights as Fiora. And
yeah.
I think you should probably ban Fiora against KT now.
I think
it's not working for anybody.
If I was a team about to play KT, I might consider that. I might entertain the thought. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Great games. Great Kindred game, great Elise game from Score. Saucin not making the Quinn work today. Individually, he did fine, but SBENU lagging a bit behind on the teamwork, but they still showed a lot of development from what we have seen from them in the past.
I mean, it was a really, really difficult first match for these guys going up against an extremely strong KT. They've got a lot of season left to go, and I think this SBENU team could still be, you know, maybe a 4th, 5th place team if everything comes together like we think it may.
Yeah, absolutely. And